Oh, and by the way, to Antimatter Morty, I'd say to you is one thing, buddy. I know you hate that, so
If that intro clip disturbed you at all, I don't blame you. Those chompers are not looking good whatsoever. For real, how do you get teeth this bad? I just don't know how you manage it, but Cyraxx somehow did it. And I mean that in the most literal sense. The guy is actually rotting. I mean, you can look at it right here. Just look at it. But I digress. I'm talking about his teeth a little too much. Cyraxx, as you heard in the beginning clip, decided to call out Antimatter Morty. I'm assuming it's because of all the videos that Antimatter Morty has been making on Chance, and he's upset about the popularity of him. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Cyraxx has been calling out ICE agents, which I think he's doing this because he probably saw some kind of content or political message that was anti-ICE. I don't really have an opinion on these things simply because I'm not political, nor do I want to be political. But since Cyraxx is talking about it, I'm gonna look into it, and everything that he says about ICE is quite wild. Like, it's just the fact that he's calling out ICE that I just find it hilarious, because this is an issue or topic that he just will not be able to grasp. So without further ado, let's check out his ICE call out video.
this message is for the current terrorist group known as ICE. Now, if you guys don't know what ICE is normally the people that goes after, drugs. People that are doing drugs, cartel people, shit like that. Well, as of lately, they have been killing people. They drug an innocent man out of his car and put their knee on the back of his neck, nearly killing him. They have also killed several other people in the city of Minneapolis. And I'm going to say this right here and now. Because, see, I am an Army brat, and I am very well trained in how to handle all kind of chemical agents that you guys throw into my home. ICE agents are not allowed in my home. I stand against ICE. ICE needs to be shut down and reformed. And to those of you out there that know about what's going on with the ICE agents, I hope and pray that you guys are staying safe. I hope that you guys have a bug out plan in place, just as I do. I've already spoken with several of my loved ones and my friends. I've already got a bug out plan in place, just in case.
Chance is talking about this like we should all know exactly what he's talking about. Not everybody is up to par with the news or exactly what people are talking about all the time in the political world. I certainly am not one of them who would know. I don't know what he's talking about with all this. I'm not sure if it was some kind of headline that he read. But regardless, he's making this like a call out video. Like him against ICE is like the biggest thing ever. Like, regardless of whatever your political opinion is on this, you gotta admit, Cyraxx calling out ICE truly doesn't do anything. Besides, I don't know what he's worried about whenever it comes to ICE. They're not gonna throw tear gas in his window or something. Chance, you were born in the United States. You're a United States citizen. They wouldn't be going after you. But I think Cyraxx believes that William Gloryhole or John or someone might be in touch with ICE and they might be trying to get him deported, which is just kind of a funny idea to me. But Cyraxx goes on this tirade about everything that you should bring with you whenever you're fleeing from ICE and you're going somewhere else. And he also claims that he has some kind of safe house emergency place that he's willing to go to, but he's not willing to name it. Of course he's not. Cyraxx has this whole bug out plan that is not even planned out. Like Cyraxx said, part of the survival plan is that you need 2 Chromebooks or 2 laptops. Bring laptops with you. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with a laptop in a survival fleeing situation like that, but Cyraxx is the expert here, and I guess we're just supposed to listen to him.
I've already got 4 bags ready to go. I already have a place to go if it gets bad. Just wanted to come on here and let everybody know what's going on. As I said, I already have a place to go with friends, family. I already have a place. I'm not saying where. It's somewhere private away from the city. I'm not saying where. But it is far away from the city. and I will flee there if need be. So to anybody out there that doesn't have a bug out bag ready, I highly suggest that you guys get a bug out bag ready. What I would do personally, I would take just your bare essentials that you need, such as like, clothes, laptops, and stuff like that. I would definitely take as much as you can. Take the essential stuff, like medicine kits, phones, walkie-talkies, survival gear. I would personally take a lot of tin foil or gum wrappers because you can use those as makeshift lighters.
He's listing off a bunch of things here, and only a handful of them would probably be helpful in a survival situation. But also, he's making this out to sound like the apocalypse. Like he has some kind of safe house from zombies or something. I'm not really sure. But I don't know if Cyraxx is trying to get in line with people against ICE, or he's trying to align himself with that political group to try and garner some kind of support or sympathy or something. But this bag he has is also not ready, as you'll soon find out. He says and shows later that it's not finished. He hasn't even set up one bag. He said 4 at the start of that clip. Well, that's just untrue. But beyond setting up supplies and what you should gather, Cyraxx also discusses his equipment and his protection. Now, you're gonna see on just how childish Cyraxx is gonna get in this video. His delusion is pretty wacky.
I also have this to help cover my face during the winter. And what you can do with this is it might not protect you directly from the mouth, but it will protect the rest of your face from the cold. So I do have this wallet, just in case. I would definitely take tools with you just in case. Like me, I take just the bare minimum essentials. I take this, and then I also have a screwdriver kit that's magnetic. I would definitely take these with you, stuff like these. What I would do is I would save these wrappers if I were you, because these wrappers can be used as fire starter along with the sticks. If you need a alcohol-based accelerant to start a fire, something like this, like eyeglass cleaner, not just good for cleaning glasses, but also good for fire accelerant. I made this homemade strap for attaching things, but this is also my personal screwdriver kit that has several screwdriver heads right there, and also on the inside.
I just love how Chance is showing off Ed's tools in this video. Like, none of this stuff belongs to him, nor does he ever use any of this stuff. Chance, we know that you're not familiar with tools. We know that you're a gamer. Stop pretending to be this epic tradesman that's good with tools. I also want to point out that he's acting like this is show and tell. He's showing all of this stuff off like it's impressive, like a bunch of these gum wrappers and lollipop wrappers. Bro is collecting them like a homeless vagrant. Chance, you know what works better than wrappers and little plastic sticks? Wood. Wood typically works better to burn. I don't know why you think that these lollipop wrappers would even last you a day. But until Cyraxx understands that wood can be set on fire, I don't know if he'll ever reach that point. But I digress. Let's get into his self-defense techniques and what he's gonna do. Because Cyraxx believes that he can physically take on the average ICE agent. 90-pound little man can take on the 200-pound ICE agent, surely.
Another thing not a lot of people think about are CDs. And not just from music, but you can turn them into actual very, very lethal weapons. Like, they can be used as lethal weapons. You can craft your own throwing stars. You can make, if you put enough of them together, you can make your own stuff to set food on, stuff like that. But yeah, those are just a few of the things that I keep in my personal bug out bag. Because again, with everything that went down in Minneapolis, I would be very much ready to go. If I was you guys, I would be prepared. Definitely also take a thing of paper on hand, because that can be used as a fire starter as well. So if ice ever shows up to your guys' home, do not let them in. But with that being said, I'm going to continue to get a bug out bag set up and ready to roll. And yeah.
And you heard it right there. The guy said that you can turn DVDs into ninja stars. What world do you live in, Chance? So many better applications, different things that you can use to defend yourself. Pepper spray is not hard to get your hands on. You don't need a permit for it. You can walk into most stores and probably find it. And that would be a much better self-defense weapon than something like a ninja star made of DVDs. And then on top of that, he talked about making plates out of them? What? Cyraxx believed that Ice might be coming after him, or he's just saying this to try and garner some kind of sympathy or support from others who might be worried about the same issues. So by next week, Cyraxx probably won't even be talking about Ice. He'll probably be talking about John and William Gloryhole and the illegal things that they're doing all the time, as he has been. I do want to move on to something else, though, where Cyraxx calls out Antimatter Morty. You guys saw that at the beginning clip. However, he ends up mostly calling out William Gloryhole in the end. I'm not sure if he gets confused at some point in the video and forgets who he's talking about, but regardless, he decides to swap between Antimatter Morty and William Gloryhole, because apparently those two are working together along with everybody else. Like, Cyraxx right now believes that every single troll is working together to try and make his life worse, which, yeah, they're trying to make his life worse, but at the same time they're not working together, at least not all of them. Usually the trolling efforts against Chance are not collectively agreed upon, nor are they usually done together. But I digress, the details are in the details. Let's hear Cyraxx call out William Gloryhole and Antimatter Morty.
Antimatter Morty. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? With little William, you really want to try to send me a painting, which, by the way, I appreciate the painting. That shit was sick. I love it. I appreciate it. Super sick. But, you want to sit there and go after my little sister Mavis? You're a f***ing fearmonger that goes after people who don't play ball with you. Well, guess what? She ain't playing ball with your, and neither is anyone else who's so jealous of me that you're mad. You're mad because I am above you when it comes to me doing See, I'm up here on the totem pole. You're at the very bottom. I am the apex predator of YouTube, bro. You're just another ass fucking prey that I can get shut down at any time I want. See, I let you keep your shit up. I could go after you full on if I really wanted to. I am letting you keep your channel. And that's what you don't seem to fucking realize. I am allowing you to keep your channel. Why? Because what you do brings in free promo for me, which gives me more views, which equals more subscribers, which equals more money in my pocket in the long run.
He constantly talks about what everybody else fails to realize, but what he fails to realize is that he won't be able to get any money. Even if he got monetized on YouTube, even if he somehow made it, he still wouldn't be able to cash bank, because that's the problem. He needs a bank account. For those of you who don't know, you need a bank account for YouTube to give you your profits. You can't be paid through Cash App or any other kind of third party like that. It has to be a bank, and Cyraxx is not willing to go out and make a bank account. He already broke up with his girlfriend Jackie from November because she wanted him to get a bank account. I'm not even joking. Cyraxx has deliberately sabotaged himself, even whenever it was in his best interest. It's just crazy for him to state things like that. But his basic point is that he owns William Gloryhole and that he controls his channel. You hear him say that again and again. And this is just one of Cyraxx's biggest copes, where he'll claim powers that he doesn't actually have to try and convince himself that he has credibility, for which he doesn't really have much, or any.
You can't do nothing about it. You wish you could, but you can't. Because you know deep down enough tiny ass peanut sized brain of yours, then I have every right to take back every f***ing video that I choose to take back. I plan to take back every video that you've ever stolen from me. I mean, you act like you're scaring me, but you're not. You're helping me gain views. Have you not realized this by now? You're not scaring nobody, bro. No one's afraid of you. You're a wannabe sitting in his mom's basement and eating Cheetos all day, bro. That's all you do. I have real motherfuckers that are in the police that'll come down on your f***ing ass. Hashtag Cyraxx Nation always wins.
So after calling out Antimatter Morty and talking a lot on William Gloryhole, Cyraxx decided that he was gonna make a 40-minute long video talking about his story once again. We're not going to be checking out the entire thing because basically it's about him and he's just telling off a bunch of lies that he always tries to push. Like he always tries to push things about Marty, Masshole Mafia, Willem Gloyle, John, amongst other people. And he manipulates information and says things that he did that he didn't actually do, like trying to help Marty out and things like that, trying to make himself sound like a better person than he actually was in those situations. But besides trying to manipulate information, Cyraxx did try to make his little comeback once more, and he tries to do this by explaining everything that basically happened over December to now. He talks about the breaking of his Xbox, what happened, how he plugged it in, and how he realized, oh no, it's bricked. And then also how they cut off his internet, because if you guys remember, CVG and crew are actively trying to cut Cyraxx's internet out, and they've been pretty successful at it.
You see, it was around Christmas time this year. Well, last year now. It was around Christmas time. And she had sent me a gift that I had gotten here about a week and a half from what she originally planned. So I opened it up and it was a brand new wheel rig. And me being excited and me not thinking anything of it, I went and I plugged it in. Because I was going to give Cassandra my old wheel rig so she can use it until we can get both me and her a proper setup, because she wanted to get into racing. Which I was, honestly, as a guy, I was ecstatic. I'm like, yo, like, she actually wants to get into this. This is cool. So, you know, I explained to her, like, hey, I'll package everything up. You know, whenever, you know, you get down here for New Year's, you know, I can hand you everything. And that's fine. And then I can use my new one. Well, when I plugged it in, after I got done unplugging my old rig, I went to plug it into the back of my Xbox, like you normally would do. And what happened next would make my stomach sink. Because I had just bought that Xbox Series X that I have. I just bought that a few weeks ago for $700. Because my ex Jackie sent me $700 to buy a new Xbox. And when I plugged it in, I figured maybe that it was overpowered, that she had gotten the wrong model, or whatever, because that can happen. If you have a device that's too powerful for the Xbox, it won't work. And at first I thought that's what was going on. I figured maybe it was just a little too powerful, whatever. Well, little did I know that it was bricked.
You would think that he would just stop plugging stuff in that he gets from an unknown person. This is Chance's like 4th Xbox that he's gone through, and it's crazy on how fast he's bricking everything at this point. Anytime anybody sends him anything, he's practically just gonna go plug it in. Even if he suspects that it's gonna brick something, he's still gonna plug it in and brick whatever it is. For example, that happened with the Wii. He plugged it into the Wii and it bricked the Wii, and then he plugged it into the Xbox right afterwards. But unlike that Xbox I'm referencing, this one was bricked by a racing rig, which is pretty crazy. Whoever made that racing rig, my god, hats off to you. Like, how do you even do all that stuff? It's gotta be like wiring up the USB kill stick inside of the racing rig. I don't really know, but besides the point, they did a really good job in doing that. But I also want to make note in how Cyraxx talks about the $700. He talks about it like that's just a normal thing. Not that many people are willing to drop $700 hours for a stranger on the internet, and you're just taking that for granted. And then on top of that, I want to remind everybody that Chance really mistreated Jackie way back when. Like, the woman wasn't even interested in him, but he just kept on calling her his girlfriend. Really weird stuff. But Chance goes on to show this Xbox and what he did to it, because Cyraxx has a weird habit of dismantling his bricked and broken electronics for no reason. I don't know if he's trying to fix them or if he's trying to figure out what's wrong with them, but regardless, whatever he did to it practically made it unrecoverable.
This is all that's left of my Xbox. Just an empty shell. Bricked. Not able to be used anymore, nor able to be repaired. And more recently, before that, about a week and a half prior to that, another troll by the name of CVG decided to climb up on top of our neighbor's roof and shine a green laser through my window. And at first I thought I was staring at the game, thinking like, oh, maybe it's just whatever, but no. It was him, so I went downstairs to let Mom and Ed know. Nobody was there. So me and Ed come back inside after we go to look. And me and Ed were, well, Ed was sitting down. I went towards the kitchen. And then my mom was shutting the, not the iron rod bar door, but the main door. Well, the minute that she shuts it and she steps back away, she's standing there for about, I'd say like 5 seconds. We hear something hit the porch like a bunch of rocks. Like how gravel sounds when it hits the porch. And we're thinking, okay, that's weird. Maybe somebody threw rocks at our house or something, whatever, okay? Well, Mom opens up the door and finds that they had shattered out the top window or the top pane of glass to our front door. Completely shattered. A couple of days later, they broke out the back glass to my mom and stepdad Ed's van. And this isn't the first time they had done this neither. A couple of years prior to that, they had thrown a brick through the windshield of my mom's Kia to where we had to replace the windshield, to where we barely had a Christmas that year.
I still don't understand why Cyraxx opened up his Xbox like he did. I don't know if there was any recovering it after it's bricked, probably not. But still, it didn't make the situation any better. If anything, it just made it worse. I mean, just look at this thing. It looked totally wrecked. But besides his little bricked Xbox, he's talking about CVG a whole lot here. And that's because Cyraxx's supervillain is CVG at this time. CVG and his little boots on the ground seem to be terrorizing Chance pretty effectively. I mean, you hear him talking about it here. The green laser at the window, the rocks being pelted at 339. He's being stressed about this. And yeah, I can see why you would be stressed about this. I think most people would be pretty stressed about rocks being thrown at their house and people just generally coming to cause trouble. But what Chance doesn't understand is that what he's doing here is just worsening the issue, and that's often what he does, and that's why people don't feel sorry for him. It's just a thing that he does repeatedly where he antagonizes these people that really want to mess with him, and that results in them messing with him even more. But Cyraxx during this decided to recount his story at the mall. He goes on to say that he believed that Cassandra was kidnapped, which is a big point, because if you remember the other day, Cyraxx claimed that he knew everything about Cassandra and that he knew it was a ploy by the trolls. But now he's telling a story that practically retcons all of that, because he's saying that he did believe that she was at the mall and that he was dating her and that it was not a troll op. So Cyraxx again retcons his own retcon and goes back full circle to the truth, and that truth being that he did believe he had Cassandra at the mall ready to date him.
4.5 hours of being stuck up at the mall, both inside and out, looking for help. At the time thinking that my fiance at the time, my now ex, had been kidnapped. And so I made a report to the police. And in the back of my mind, I did keep in mind that it could be a troll, but I wasn't In my mind, I overrode that. I was thinking, like, why would somebody joke about that? Why would somebody pretend to be kidnapped? That didn't make sense to me. Well, thankfully, the officer helped me to get to a bus, and that bus got me back home. Little did I know that the next day would roll around, I would find out that it was all a setup, and that they tricked me into going up there so that I could be followed. And when I found that out, my stomach sank. These people have not only done all of this, they have faked Facebook accounts of me, made a Facebook of over 9,000 people dedicated to harassing me. They've even gone as far as cutting our cable to where we've had to have cable people out here several times to replace the wire, which, by the way, is a federal offense. Because when you cut someone's internet line, you're not only with a government business who is paid through the government to do what they do, but you're also with that person's property.
Every time Chance retells this story, which he has told it probably about 4 different times since it happened, he always misses some detail, or he doesn't explain all of it, or none of it makes sense whatsoever. For example, when he originally told this story, there was a 100-foot drop hill or something like that. Like a Grand Canyon Valley kind of deal, I guess. And then he also didn't mention the couple that he met on the bus that changed his life and supported him. Supposedly, they gave him that little necklace that he claims is a family heirloom. Chance believes that he has fans out there, and that if he says that he met some fans out somewhere, well, then that means that they exist everywhere and that everybody should be worried about it. But Chance missing details in the story just means that he doesn't even know what happened. He's probably going to be talking about how he walked home like a badass and that he ran into the sunset, but I'm getting off track.
Because of these people, I ended up in jail. I've lost my ability to be able to get a regular job, to be able to make money. Because according to William Glory Hole, I'm not allowed to make a living. I'm not allowed to have money. I'm not allowed to earn a living. These people have stolen stuff off our porch and sold it for auction to make money. These people have stolen hundreds of dollars worth of music that I've created. These people, every time I go to make like a brand new shop, a brand new Twitch, or a brand new kit, they mass report me and get me shut down. Every day and night I have to sleep with one eye open, constantly looking out my window, constantly on the lookout. These people have spread so many lies and rumors about me that the rumors and the lies are starting to become truth in their eyes, and it's not the truth. These people have made fake Discord accounts of me, making me look like a not. These people have made several fake Facebook accounts of me. These people have even made video games with my face and image and voice and likeness, along with my family. These people have even gone as far as making merchandise and selling merchandise with my face and image and likeness, all the way down to an animated series on YouTube with me and my family and everything that we've been through, which is what the series is based around.
Chance is blaming the trolls for literally everything. He's talking about how they're the reason he hasn't gotten a normal job. They're the reason his music isn't succeeding because they're stealing it. In which I guess that last part can be kind of blamed on the trolls. Like, yeah, they wouldn't be stealing it if they weren't there. But at the same time, it wasn't going to make money by itself anyway. Cyraxx, your music just isn't good. That's what he doesn't get. This music is horrendous, and most of it isn't even his. It's often him singing over Evanescence or something of that like. But other than the music, I find it very jarring that he blames the trolls for him getting arrested. Chance, you went outside to go attack Aware Myself with a baseball bat. Basically, for those of you who don't know, Chance went outside to go do exactly what I said. He attacked a guy named Aware Myself. He was this guy on the internet who went to Cyraxx's house to go protest a couple years ago. And well, Cyraxx got arrested after confronting the guy, and he blames the trolls for that. Chance, it was public property. But he doesn't want to accept responsibility for doing such things like that. He can't just say, yeah, I was stupid, I went outside and did that dumb thing, but hey, I'm not gonna do it again. He doesn't say anything like that. He doesn't seem like he learned his lesson. But Cyraxx has said a lot of things these past few days, and I can't go over all of it, but I will say this. I want to shout out Okie Doll, Jason Cruel, Only Wise Hermit, Sauce, Boston Smitty, I Need to Fart, Pixie Bella, NRA Hole, Joyce, Wild Weaver Gaming, Turbo Ninja 22, Halloween Nerd, Jin Not Jin 2, Dreadhead David 420, Tannis Finest, Whiskey Ping 42, Jeff of the David Clan, Oso David Grunga, Brett VT, Zorl Champion First Claw, O Oversoul, The Black Pearl, Edward Walden Hain, Nick Cliff, Atomic Renegade, Evan Reed, Curse Decals, Lord of Worlds, TJ Bender, James, Honda Civic, Bakano Sensei, Mochi Cakes, Mad 33s, and Dark Chocolate. Thank you guys for y'all's support, and I'll see you in the next one.